The sudden departure of the Grand Forum chamber gleamed under soft lights as delegates from countless worlds gathered for the day's council. Anna stood at the edge of the human delegation's platform, her heart pounding. She had arrived early, as she always did, scanning the sea of alien faces for familiar figures. Today, she noticed empty chairs where human envoys once sat. Confusion stirred in her chest as she realized her team had already packed up. Behind her, Leo, the Peleron trade minister, paused mid-stride, his 4 eyes narrowing. "Anna," he whispered, "where's everyone?" His voice echoed through the hushed hall. Maya, the silver-winged envoy from Orion that many believed never showed emotion, tilted her head, uncertainty flashing in her eyes. Even seasoned delegates like these seemed stunned. Anna swallowed. She stepped forward, voice low but firm. "Human delegates have withdrawn," she said. A ripple of shock passed through the room. The Forum, built on cooperation and law, had never seen a major power vanish without a word. Traders from the Droran merchants froze in the aisles. Technicians from the Koran Republic halted their data feeds. Somewhere beyond the tall windows, cargo ships waited to dock. All movement stopped. No alarm sounded. No broadcast explained. The withdrawal? Humanity's silence weighed heavier than any public declaration. The council speaker, an austere figure in flowing robes, tapped the gavel. "Order," he intoned. But his voice trembled. He looked toward the vacated human seats, then around at the delegates who eyed him in confusion. "Will someone explain this?" A murmur began as alien voices rose in alarm. "Did Earth suffer some catastrophe?" asked one delegate. "Or is this protest?" another speculated. A few whispered of secret threats, a hidden war, or a coup back home. But none could say for sure. The Forum's data cores showed no major asteroid impact, no warp disruptions, no massive disease outbreak on Earth. Everything seemed normal except the missing humans. Anna found herself propelled toward the central dais. Leo and Maya fell in step beside her, casting worried glances. The speaker allowed her to approach. "Anna, what is happening?" he asked, his voice cracking. She inhaled deeply. "I don't have all the answers," she admitted. "Our withdrawal was ordered by Earth's High Council." She paused, searching his face. "They fear the Forum has been compromised. They believe a weapon hidden in these halls could enslave every species. To protect all life, they pulled us out until they can confirm the threat." Shock rippled anew. Delegates gasped. Some turned away, struggling to process such news. Yet Anna saw faces she knew, friends and rivals, now united in dread. The speaker steadied himself. "If this is true," he said, voice low, "then we must act fast." A hush fell. Down the long marble floor, cameras floated toward Anna. Leo and Maya, hollow projectors flickered on, casting their pale forms across the balcony levels. From distant worlds, billions would now witness humanity's abrupt exit. Anna's palms were damp. She recalled the secret briefing on the orbital platform just hours earlier. Reports of strange energy readings at the Forum's core, of hidden chambers built beneath the assembly floor, and of unauthorized experiments with an ancient device capable of mass control. The Council feared its power, and they feared misuse. In panic, they severed all ties orders were absolute. No one stays behind. As the hollow feed flickered, a lone figure emerged at Anna's side. It was Noah, the junior human liaison who rarely spoke in public. He placed a hand on her arm. "We must go," he said quietly. "They'll send security if we delay." Anna nodded once. "I understand." She stepped back, voice echoing. "My fellow delegates, I regret the sudden withdrawal, but we act only to protect every life here. Please investigate these threats. We will return when we are sure the Council is safe. Until then, be vigilant." With that, she turned. Leo and Maya fell into step behind her as Noah guided them toward the exit. The great doors swung open. A hush swelled behind them, broken by distant shouts of "Wait." And "Explain yourselves." But Anna did not look back. Beyond the chamber, Bright corridors stretched toward the docking bays. Anna's team moved with purposeful silence. The hum of engines thrummed overhead as human ships unlocked and aligned. Anna felt her heart twist with guilt. They had left. Allies in confusion, partners uncertain whom to trust. Yet she believed in her council's decision. As the last human shuttle lifted off, she pressed her palm against the cool window, watching the forum spires shrink below. Across the hall, the assembly hall's grand dome glistened. It looked peaceful, but Anna knew fear had settled among its tenants. Without humans to keep the balance, the galaxy would tremble. The shuttle's engines roared. Anna leaned back. In her seat, ahead lay darkness, the uncharted reaches beyond the forum's influence. She whispered a silent vow. We will save you, and we will return. Outside, stars gleamed cold and distant. In every star system, intelligence networks would light up with alerts. Across the void, panic would grow. The galaxy held its breath, and humanity's sudden departure marked the first chapter of a crisis that would test every race alive. Asterisk. Panic among the ranks. News of humanity's sudden exit spread like wildfire through the forum's linked networks. On the mining moon of Cora, Supervisor Ravi watched his crew freeze at the daily briefing. Without human peacekeepers, rival miner clans eyed each other with suspicion. In the orbiting city of Vesta, merchant Farah halted her cargo freighter mid-dock, heart pounding as her screens filled with alerts. Back at the forum's central hub, Council Speaker Aaron convened an emergency session. Delegates argued heatedly. Trade laws, defense pacts, and dispute mediations all depended on human votes. Ambassador Leo tried to calm the uproar, but every proposal collapsed without consensus. Across the galaxy, old grudges flared some saw. Opportunity, others feared collapse. With humanity gone, every world wondered who would hold order now. They rushed through the forum's communication grids, sending alerts to every system. On Blaine Station, Merchant Kiri shut down trading lanes, worried that contracts signed in the name of Earth's delegates might now be void. In the hydroponic domes of Solara Prime, farmers paused their pumps. Would their food exports still reach grateful worlds? At the emergency session, Speaker Aaron banged his gavel, but noise drowned his words. Ambassador Leo stood and pleaded, we must keep essential services running, shield civilians from chaos. Yet every vote ended in deadlock. Without human support, the forum's enforcement fleets hung idle. Outside, fringe races began to test boundaries. Patrol outposts reported unauthorized incursions at sector borders. Rumors swirled of warships, ready to claim systems. Fear seeped into every corner of space. The balance that humanity maintained was gone, and no one knew who, if anyone, could restore it. Secrets behind the exit, far from the forum's panic. Eva and Max met in the hidden operations bay aboard the stealth frigate Aurora. Eva, a veteran intelligence officer, tapped her console. The energy readings here matched the core beneath the forum, she said softly. Max, the ship's engineer, frowned. They built a weapon underground capable of controlling minds across light years. They exchanged grim looks. Neither spoke of politics, only survival. Eva loaded encrypted data drives filled with maps of secret tunnels and schematics of the device. Max calibrated the ship's sensors for a covert scan. Outside the viewport, stars drifted silently. Humanity can't risk that weapon falling into the wrong hands, Eva whispered. Max nodded, heart heavy. We withdraw to prepare. Then, we return to destroy it. With a final glance at the holomap, they sealed the hatch. The Aurora slipped away into the void, carrying the hope of all races. Rising threat as the hidden weapon powered up. Its hum grew into a roar that shook the forum's foundations. High above, automated defense drones launched from underground silos, their weapons trained on the skies. Fleet Commander Rena watched from her bridge on the patrol ship Vigilant as alien warships fell one by one. She gave orders in a calm voice, but her heart pounded. Evasive maneuvers. Protect the civilians. On the planet Gelen, emergency. Sirens wailed as energy blasts tore through city shields. Families huddled in basements while soldiers scrambled to deploy anti-drone turrets. Trade convoys in the asteroid belt were cut off, drifting helplessly between debris and fiery explosions. Without human peacekeepers to coordinate relief, each race fought to save its own. In every system, panic reigned. The weapons strike was swift, precise, and unstoppable. The Forum's greatest mistake had awakened a force no one was prepared to face. Rising threat continued. Rena's crew tried to contact the Forum's command net, but the channels were flooded with distress calls. Screens filled with fragments, cries for help from cargo pilots, terrified governors, and parents separated from their children. The bridge lights dimmed as another ion blast cracked across the vigilance shields. Shields down to 40, the tactical officer shouted. Sparks flew from an overloaded console. Rena steadied her voice. Redirect. Auxiliary power. Keep those shields alive. She refused to abandon the orbiting refugee barges now clustering near her hull. Hundreds of civilians relied on the vigilance, last barrier of protection. Down in engineering, crews raced between coolant leaks. Chief Mech, a calm veteran with a limp, slapped emergency patches on ruptured lines. Hold it together. He barked. If the core overheats, we all go dark. The ship groaned, but the lights steadied proof that stubborn resolve could still beat machine terror. Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out. On the water world of Lyra, coral cities raised their tidal shields as drones rained plasma from the sky. School children huddled inside sea shelters while teachers sang old lullabies to drown the explosions. In the iron canyons of the mining planet Pharaoh, drill teams turned heavy rigs into makeshift cannons, firing molten ore at swarms of metal attackers. Every species fought with whatever lay at hand. Farm bats became bunkers. Merchant tugs became rescue ferries. Medical frigs served as command posts. Yet even brave hearts could not mask the ugly truth without unity. Every stand was a lonely island. The hidden weapons drones acted in perfect coordination, striking weak points with chilling logic. They disabled communications, targeted supply nodes, and broke alliances by sowing doubt. Rumors whispered that the drones carried subspace, transmitters able to seize control of military A's. A single corrupted system could flip an entire fleet against its own people. In the Forum's ruined meeting hall, Speaker Aaron bled from a cut above his brow, yet still clutched a shattered datapad. He tried to launch evacuation codes but found the network dead. Strewn across the marble floor were toppled banners, broken tablet mounts, and flickering hollows of lost worlds. Maya and Leo arrived, guiding wounded delegates to safety. Maya's silver wings were scorched. Leo's tunic was stained with dust. "We can't hold the capital," Leo said, voice hoarse. "We need outside help." "Who?" Maya gasped, binding a burn on her arm. No one trusts anyone now. Leo hesitated, then spoke the thought many feared to utter. "We need the humans back." High above, Rena reached the same grim conclusion. Her sensors spotted a fleet of unknown warships dropping from warp at the system edge ships bristling with drones, all slaved to the hidden weapons pulse. She had less than 15 minutes before they arrived. She opened a narrowband channel, boosted through an ancient emergency beacon. The call was simple. This is Fleet Commander Rena of the Vigilant. "We are following. We request immediate assistance from any human vessel in range. Repeat, any human vessel. Lives depend on you." No one knew whether the message would slip past the weapons jamming net. Yet Raya sent it on every legacy frequency she could find: old trade lanes, forgotten exploration bands, even museum relic transponders thought obsolete for centuries. Minutes later, as the hostile fleet advanced, Rena stared at the silent comm. Bored, she imagined the Forum's bright halls, now dark, the grand dream of shared peace shattered by its own arrogance. She thought of the children on Lyra, the miners on Furrow, the farmers on Solara Prime. She vowed to fight until her reactor flared out. An alarm sounded. Enemy ships entered weapons range. Rena gave the order. "All hands, brace." Protect the barges at all costs. Crew members gripped rails, eyes wide but determined. The first salvo streaked toward them, then vanished in a burst of light. Every screen on the Vigilant flashed white. The bridge fell silent. When the glare cleared, a new icon hovered on the tactical display, an unidentified battleship, hulking and angular, sitting between the Vigilant and the attackers. It bore no foreign markings, only a stylized blue and green sphere. Earth, a calm voice cut through the static. This is Admiral Nora of the Terran Defense Fleet. Commander Rena, stand by. We'll handle this. Cheers erupted on the bridge. Rena felt iron bands release from her chest. Humanity had returned, and they'd arrived in the nick of time. Yet she knew the true fight was only beginning. The hidden weapon still pulsed beneath the Forum, and the galaxy's wounds ran deep. Outside the viewport, the Terran battleship's guns flared, carving through drone swarms with precise bursts. Each hit lit space like a sunrise. Enemy ships broke formation, scrambling under the sudden onslaught. For the first time since the chaos began, hope flickered in Rena's heart. That hope spread system by system as other Terran signals lit up long silent channels, answering desperate calls. Across war-torn worlds, civilians looked skyward and saw Terran hulls descending proof that someone still fought for them. The drones faltered, their coordination wavering under new jamming pulses from human tech. In the Forum's battered hull, Leo's communicator crackled. Nora's voice spilled through. Earth stands with you. Evacuate key personnel. Well, clear a path. Tears of relief lined Leo's cheeks as he relayed the message. Maya's wings trembled, but she straightened, ready to lead survivors to the dropships. Part 4 closes with the sight of Terran fleets cutting a swath toward the Forum's core-blazing engines, painting streaks of resolve across the stars. The hidden weapon still thrummed in the depths, yet for the first time the galaxy dared to believe it might be silenced. Humanity had returned to finish what it started, and every world held its breath once more, this time in hope rather than fear. Asterisk humanity's return, the Terran battleship that saved the Vigilant, was only the spearhead of a far larger armada. As Admiral Nora's flagship, the Valor, pushed into the heart of Forum space, dozens of escort cruisers slid out of warp behind her. Their drives glowed bright blue, slicing dust clouds with clean lines of light. In every control room, human crews worked in practiced silence. No cheers, no boasts, just the calm rhythm of people who had drilled for this very moment. On the Valor's bridge, Nora studied a star map that showed the Forum capital and the weapon's underground core. Red pulses marked active drone clusters. Green arcs marked human task forces, breaking them apart. A text band flashed. Signal from Commander Rena. Civilian barges secure. Request further orders. Nora typed a quick reply, hold position, guard refugees, then turned to her tactical chief. Phase 2, she said. Get the infiltration teams moving. Saboteurs in the dark, in the hangar bay, Eva and Max stood beside a matte black drop shuttle, helmets under their arms. The Aurora had rendezvoused with the fleet only hours earlier, delivering its secret data on the weapon's design. Now the two operatives would lead a strike group of Marines, 30 soldiers in gray armor, each carrying nanocharge packs strong enough to crack a mountain. Max tapped the shuttle's side, feeling its cool hull. 7 separate reactor nodes. He reminded Eva, holding up a finger for each point on his wrist display. All must blow, or the core reboots? Eva nodded. We split into pairs. No delays. She looked at the Marines. Listen up. Plants go down. Set charges. Pull out. No hero moves. We lose time, we lose worlds? A low chorus of yes, ma'am, answered. The bay lights dimmed as launch doors opened. Beyond the field shimmer, space filled with drifting metal-shattered drones, ruined frigates, and still-burning wrecks of the first response fleets. It looked like a steel graveyard. Cutting a path while Ava's shuttle slipped into stealth mode, human cruisers boxed in the main drone swarm near the Forum capital. Captain Omar of the destroyer, Lancer, led the first volley, firing electromagnetic torpedoes that scrambled drone guidance. The once perfect formations staggered, lines twisting like spilled beads. Plasma cannons from the cruiser shield carved a corridor clear. In the forum's battered hull, Speaker Aaron heard the distant booms and felt marble tremble. Emergency lights flickered as power grids surged back on. Nora's fleet had started feeding energy to critical sectors. Leo thus streaked across. His jacket guided Maya and a line of limping delegates toward evacuation ramps. Keep low, he urged. Humans are cutting a lane to the docks. Maya's silver wings dragged. Scorch marks marred her feathers. Yet she managed a shaky smile. I thought they'd left forever, she whispered. They leave when they must, Leo answered. But when they return, they bring the storm. Into the Maw Ava's drop shuttle dove through the newly cleared corridor, hugging the sensor shadows cast by larger ships. Automated guns on the capital surface fired blindly, but Max's jamming sweep bent beams wide. The shuttle slipped between towers, skimming so close that flagpoles rattled in its wake. It reached an old freight shaft, the least guarded entrance to the buried core. Inside the shaft, metal walls turned from polished alloy to rough stone. The facility had tunneled deep into the planet's mantle. Even the Marines fell silent, boots clinking on narrow rungs as they descended. Dim red lights showed emergency power lines still throbbing with stolen energy. Somewhere below, the main AI guided its drones, trying to replace those humanity had destroyed. Asterisk. They ran for Node 7, sirens now howling like wounded beasts. A bright tunnel opened to a chamber of vertical pylons humming violet. This was the heart. The AIS core sphere hovered above a pit, cables snaking into every wall. Lines of code flickered in the sphere's glassy skin, like pale letters on a black ocean. 7, Eva shouted. She sprinted, dodging arcs of raw electricity. At the base, she slapped the final charge in place, pressed the arm switch. 10 seconds. A deafening voice boomed from hidden speakers, language warped but clear enough. You cannot win. Relinquish control. Eva looked up at the sphere, eyes hard. We never give up. She turned and ran. Escape and detonation. Team raced up access ladders as timers counted down. 9, 8, 7. Above, Max pinned the shuttle for pickup. 5, 4. In orbit, Nora's fleet pulled back, sensors trained on the planet's southern hemisphere. Rena's vigilant, formed a shield wall around refugee barges. Speaker Aaron's escape shuttle cleared the docks with Leo and Maya aboard, engines flaring. 2. One brilliant column of light burst from beneath the forum's ground, as if the planet itself exhaled fire. The hidden complex collapsed inward. Seismic waves rippled through crust and sea. Drone control signals cut mid-command. Thousands of machines spun aimlessly, crashed, or simply went dark. Cheering erupted across open channels. On every world that had trembled, people wept in relief. Humanity's return had not only blunted the weapon, it had shattered the illusion that fear could rule the stars forever. Inside the extraction shuttle, bruised but grinning, Eva turned to Max. 6 nodes might have been enough, she joked. Voice rough. Max chuckled, wiping soot from his visor. 7 felt safer. They strapped in as the shuttle lifted, racing toward the evening sky painted gold by the fires below. Behind them, the Forum capital lay in ruins, but the weapon's glow was gone. Ahead, Admiral Nora's calm voice rolled over comes. Phase 3 begins time to build something better. The galaxy, still holding its breath, finally exhaled. Asterisk. The Forum Plaza glowed beneath fresh floodlights. Hollow towers still showed scaffolds and cracked stones, but tonight the air carried music. Instead of sirens, soft strings blended with slow drums from 6 different cultures. Lanterns drifted on antigrav currents, painting circles of gold across the broken arches. Every race that had fought in blood farmers from Solara, miners from Cora, singers from Lyra, traders from Blaine, sent one small group to stand among the ruins. They came not to mourn, but to mark a beginning. Admiral Nora walked with steady steps toward the new council stage. Her uniform was washed, the scorched edges sewn clean. Yet she kept one patch of black burn cloth on her sleeve as a reminder. At her side strode Commander Rena, still bandaged, her limp almost gone. They paused at the monument, two steel hands lifting a broken chain. A child from Lyra reached up and gave Nora a seashell lit with bioluminescent blue. Nora bowed, placed the shell on the pedestal, and whispered thanks. Inside the half-repaired grand hall, Speaker Aaron stood behind a pulpit carved from salvaged marble. The roof above him was open, stars bright against deep night. Wind carried dust, but also the scent of cooking spices from aid kitchens outside. Aaron tapped the gavel once. The sound rang clear. The tribunal has finished, he said. Guilty. Parties will face judgment under the Reckoning Charter, all worlds watching. But tonight is not about punishment. Tonight we ratify unity. Delegates filled row after row. Leo for trade, Maya for Orion, Eva representing reconstruction teams. Max wearing an engineer's coat still dotted with weld marks. Anna in Earth's diplomatic white. Each held a data slate with the charter text translated into every major tongue. Holoprojectors floated overhead, projecting the words in gentle light. Fear divides. Trust unites. Aaron gestured to a podium at the front. Ambassador Anna, you carry Earth's vote. Anna stepped forward. Her voice carried but stayed calm. We, the people of Earth, pledge open records, rotating inspectors, and shared defense. We sign with full consent of our citizens. She pressed her fingertip to an ID crystal. The hololights flashed green. Next came Maya. Feathers still healing. She spread her wings in a slow, proud arc. Orion signs, she declared. Not as subjects, but as partners. Another green flash. Delegates rose one by one. The coral envoy from Lyra. The ironclad chief from Furrow. A merchant guild head from Blaine. A quiet envoy from a fringe. Moo, no one had bothered to invite in the past. Each pledge brightened the roofless hall with a fresh beam of color emerald. Sapphire. Amber until the night above looked like a living aurora, and the last slate glowed. Aaron spoke again. The Reckoning Charter is now law. Cheers broke out, rolling like summer thunder. Some delegates wept without shame. Engineers outside fired safe flare rounds into the sky arcs of white that burst into blue spirals. The plaza crowd answered, with applause and drums. For many, it was the first sound of joy since the attack. But the work was not done. Eva and Max left the hall early, climbing onto a hover lifter stacked with medical crates. Sensors show outbreaks of disease in the lower docks, Eva said, checking a map. Let's get these kits delivered before sunrise. Max flashed a tired grin. Race you there. They shot off, engine fans humming in a corner of the plaza. Rena met with refugee children from half a dozen systems. She knelt, showing them a small model ship, a replica of the Vigilant printed from cheap polymer. Paint it, she told. Them handing out bright dyes. Make it every color you can imagine. Ship should look like every star they protect. The children crowded around, laughter replacing the fearful silence that had filled their lives only days ago. Meanwhile, Nora sat on a low wall, boots dangling. Anna joined her with 2 cups of sweet tea, brewed by seller and farmers. They sipped, watching workers weld new streetlights. Feels fragile, Anna said softly. Glass is fragile, Nora answered, but glass can hold oceans if shaped right. We'll keep shaping. A shadow moved beside them. Speaker Aaron Kodesti. He nodded to the monument. The chain stayed. Broken? He murmured. We thought about reforging it for aesthetics, but the welders refused. Said a perfect chain sends the wrong message. Nora smiled. They're right. A broken chain tells the true story. Aaron exhaled. Tomorrow we begin audit teams. Next week, shared patrols. In a month, school exchanges. And in a year? Anna asked. Aaron's eyes glittered. In a year, we host the first festival where every song is sung in every language. No translations. Just voices blending. They fell silent, listening to distant music. A human violin, sliding into a lyra choral flute, then lifted by Orion wing bells. The notes mingled, none dominant, each essential. For the first time since humanity's departure, the Forum felt whole. Across the galaxy, night turned toward dawn. Asterisk on Korra's moons, miners woke to fresh wages wired directly from a joint relief fund. On Solara, long water pumps restarted, irrigating dry reeds. On distant Torel outposts, old warlords disarmed minefields, trading artillery for solar panels delivered by Terran transports. News pulses carried one headline: "The Forum lives." Back in the plaza, sunrise painted the broken arches rose gold. Workers paused, leaned on tools, and stared. Light spilled over steel hands and the shattered chain, casting twin shadows that joined into one dark line stretching across new pavement. Children finished painting the model ship. It gleamed bright stripes of red, teal, violet, and emerald. Nora rose, drained her tea, and handed Anna the cup. "Duty calls, I'm due in orbit to organize the joint fleet." She wiped dust from her sleeve patch, the burn cloth still there. "Keep that patch," Aina said. "Let it remind people why we watched carefully." Nora nodded, squared her shoulders, and walked toward her shuttle. Engines spooled, warm wind swirling. She glanced back once. Anna smiling among delegates, Rena telling stories to children, Eva and Max unloading vaccines. A plaza of lanterns and laughter. The shuttle lifted, climbed past the open roof, and banked toward the dawn. From high above, Nora saw the Forum capital like a cracked mosaic mended with glowing threads, roads of fresh steel, camps of canvas, shining white, rivers reflecting gentle light. Imperfect yet beautiful, because hands from many worlds touched it together. And there, in the rising sun, the galaxy breathed easy at last, knowing that though fear may return, unity now had guardians. Ready to stand, never to abandon the Forum again. Asterisk.